That's my son Hunter. Good evening, everybody. This is Real News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Lukoch. With me today is my little boy. As you can see here, he's fully awake and being very ornery today.
And happy.
Alright, go ahead and go play, buddy, okay?
Okay.
We'll do dinner after I get done. I'll get dinner ready.
Okay.
Alright.
Love you.
Love you too. Alright, hope you guys are enjoying your Monday. First up today, it's coming out off of spotlightpa.org. The story is Mystery Meeting. Story says is a working group assembled by Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro met in private last week as the administration weighs whether to back a cornerstone of his predecessor's climate change agenda. God, I hope not. The state's entry into the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, an interstate consortium aimed at capping power plant emissions, is on hold amid legal challenges brought by Republicans and fossil fuel interests. Thank goodness. If the frackers were smart, they'd be fracking regardless. Shapiro has stopped short of endorsing the program and has said he'd convene a group to consider it and a state-level climate change plan. And it sounds like there's been some protests going on, and he's a little bit scared to go full-on authoritarian at this point. The AP reports the group met for the first time last week unannounced, and Shapiro's office has declined to identify most members. I don't like the sound of that. The context is Shapiro, whose administration has demonstrated a lack of transparency before, has tried to walk a tightrope between environmentalists who supported Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, or RGGI, and labor unions that don't. The working group that met in private last week includes chairs from each column: Jackson Morris of the Natural Resources Defense Council and Mike Dunleavy, a retired business manager of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 5 in Pittsburgh, per the AP. Excuse me. Shapiro's office, of course, declined to identify any other members of the group. His office also said the governor is letting members meet privately without keeping public minutes and without a timeline for recommendations. Shapiro has questioned RGGI's impacts on the energy industry, energy prices, and even greenhouse gas emissions. But the University of Pennsylvania climate scientist Michael Mann said pulling out of the program would signal a lack of seriousness about addressing climate change here. One second here, I'm looking here. Okay, that's the end of that story there. The next story is also from Spotlight PA. The story was done by Stephen Caruso of SpotlightPA.org. How Harrisburg works. PA House Majority rules versus bills and taxpayer money for Twitter Blue. The election of Pennsylvania's first female House Speaker in late February resolved 3 months of uncertainty about chamber leadership. Still, Harrisburg remains a convoluted place. As lawmakers begin considering bills and big funding questions, Spotlight PA's Stephen Caruso wants to help you understand how the sausage really gets made, how your tax dollars are spent, and how Harrisburg works. What will impending special elections mean for House state control, you ask? Or state House control, you ask? It goes on to say, to paraphrase Democratic political operative Ben Forstate, with a one-seat margin in the state House, every special election is also an existential crisis. There are 2 state House special elections scheduled for primary day May 16th. One is in the Philadelphia suburbs to replace former state rep Mike Zabel, who resigned after several people accused him of sexual harassment. The other is in the upper Susquehanna Valley to replace Linda Culver from Northumberland, who won a state Senate seat. Both state House seats are likely safe holds for the representative parties. The Inquirer's Gillian McGoldrick has an in-depth look at the Delaware County race. But May 16th likely won't be the end of special elections, at least for state representatives are running for local office and will have to give up their seats if they win in November. I personally would like to see all the elections go red for once and get these failed politicians out of office. And as much as I hate to say it, considering he was absolutely of no help during the governor's race, I would like to hope that Trump not do any more rallies in Pennsylvania. Because he really doesn't need to help anybody up here. He didn't do any good last time. All he did was make it about himself, and that's what hurt more than help. Doug Mastriano and Dr. Oz never should have been a candidate. That's my feelings on the subject. Kathy Bennett would have been a much better Senate for federal Senate. Dr. Oz never should have been on the ballot, as far as I'm concerned. He's from New Jersey. That was never going to work. All are Democrat, but it goes on to say, all are Democrats. Sarah Innamorato is running for Allegheny County Executive. Ammon Brown is vying to become the next mayor of Philadelphia. John Galloway is seeking a Bucks County judgeship, and Kristen Howard is launching a bid for a Chester County judgeship. Anybody listening from any of those counties, I would implore you, do not vote for these people. Most of these small towns that don't have, I don't know much about these other counties, but every Democrat elected official, especially in Philadelphia, look at that place. That place isn't a hole anymore. And let's not forget about Pittsburgh, where the stinking, I can't remember how long ago it was, but the bridge caved in when Biden went to visit. Although that may have just been a bad omen from God. Who knows? Either way, it's proven that they don't take care of nothing. The story goes on to say, none of these seats are likely to flip parties if they become vacant. President Joe Biden won all four by at least 10 percentage points in 2020. I think this is one of the states that does legal ballot harvesting. Time to play their game, Republicans. Time to play their games. Still, even a temporary vacancy or two could see the Democratic caucus dip below the mathematical definition of majority. But the math doesn't matter. That's due to a new definition of majority party in the state House rules Democrats introduced and passed last month without any Republican support. While the term was undefined, in past sessions, rules, the state house's operating rules now say that the majority party is the one that won the greater number of elections for the 203 seats in the House of Representatives in the general election preceding the term of service that began on the first day of December next after the general election. It goes on to say, should a vacancy occur during the term, the definition continues, the political party that won that seat at the last election shall remain the party that won that seat until any subsequent special election is held to fill that seat. Isn't that lovely? Control would only be reshuffled if a seat flips, the definition concludes. Well, I'd say that's all the more reason and motivation for us to get the House to flip. We need to start winning these elections. We need to start lobbying for these guys and getting these guys to do what needs to be done. We got to beat these guys. We need to fight. Dan Bongino says it best. We have to do and talk less. I think we've talked enough. One more story I wanted to get to here. We have got to stop these guys. We have got to fight. Sorry, computer's starting to screw up here. I had to reload the next page I was on here. 1 second here. That's everything I had to say about Pennsylvania. I'm going to do a lot more stories and focus more on what's going on here so we can fix, because let's be honest, Pennsylvania's where the country was decided on, how, the Declaration of Independence was done, the Constitution of the United States, the Bill of Rights was done in Washington, I'm pretty sure, but this country started here. The meetings were started here in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, and look what shithole that turned out is that now because of the Democrats, because of the left and their stupid ideologies. We got to take back these institutions and reiterate our American way of life and our American values. We cannot keep letting these people get away with this crap. And now for some reason people are being acceptant to these drag queens wanting to push transgender ideology, trying to transition the kids, and you're not going to touch my son, and that's all I have to say about that. Here we go. This last story I'm going to do is coming from Budweiser, from The Blaze, done by Paul Saka. If I mispronounce any of these names, I apologize. The story from The Blaze is Budweiser releases patriotic Heart of America advertisement amidst Bud Light's Dylan Mulvaney controversy. Basically, they're just kissing butt because you're not spending your money with them no more, so they freaked out and they're going to pretend to be patriotic so you'll start spending money on their beer again. Don't fall for that. Keep it on until they apologize. From the story, Budweiser released a new advertisement on Friday that is patriotic and talks about the Heart of America. The ad arrived amidst the Bud Light controversy of partnering with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney. On Friday, Budweiser released a new advertisement on all its social media platforms. The ad features one of the iconic Budweiser Clydesdale horses traveling across the United States. From dirt roads to sandy beaches, the horse adventures from the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., to the Gateway Arch in St. Louis, to the Grand Canyon, to New York City. I hate to say it, but there's nothing really patriotic about New York City anymore. Anyway, during the cross-country trek, the horse encounters Americans enjoying beer on a farm and friends sharing a handshake at the fire department. A man with a Land of the Free patch on his jacket raises the American flag with the help of a woman. The narrator begins the advertisement by saying, "Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America." I'm going to stop this here. Listen. One ad's not going to fix anything. You drew your line in the sand, Anheuser-Busch. And we're not going to fall for it anymore. Nobody's falling for this crap. You showed everybody your true colors. Everybody. And you got nobody to blame but yourself. I'm not going to be drinking any of your beer anymore. And there's millions of Americans that's not going to be drinking your beer anymore either. Nor should we. You drawing your line in the sand, and that's all there is to it. But that's all I had for tonight. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Spend time with your families. Enjoy yourselves. And we'll catch you guys next time. God bless. Take care. Bye.